To the wedding of Cleopatra and Alexander of Epirus, Philip had invited his special friends from all over the Greek world, and he had encouraged his Macedonian companions to do the same. There were going to be brilliant games and lavish banquets. Philip was determined to show the Greek world that he was an amiable man and deserving of the honors that the Greeks had voted to him. At the start of the state banquet, a famous actor named Neoptolemus sang a song in which he mocked the wealth of the Persian king and implied that it could be overturned. After the drinking was over, the start of the games was set for the next morning. While it was still dark, the spectators filed into the theater and sat down. At the back of the theater, Philip had organized a procession. In the procession, there were statues of the 12 Olympian gods and a 13th statue of Philip himself. Philip appeared at the back of the theater wearing a white cloak. Once the theater was full, Philip's bodyguard stood away from him by his express order. He wanted to show the assembled guests that he didn't need to have a bodyguard of spearmen to protect him. All he had to do was to rely upon the goodwill of the Greeks. Philip was standing and then began to walk, flanked by Alexander of Epirus on one side and his son Alexander on the other. Just as he began to walk into the orchestra of the theater, Pausanias from Orestes in northern Greece rushed out from the back of the theater, stabbed Philip in the side with a Celtic dagger, and left him mortally wounded on the floor of the theater. He then ran out the back of the theater, chased by a group of the Macedonian bodyguards. Pausanias ran for the gates and the horses that had been prepared for his escape. One group of Macedonian bodyguards ran over to Philip. A second group chased after Pausanias. Pausanias, as he was about to leap up on one of the horses, tripped on a vine, fell down on the ground, and was speared to death by the Macedonians. Meanwhile, back in the theater, as Philip lay dying, or perhaps was already dead, a man named Alexander of Lynkestis, the son of Iropus, gathered up Philip's son Alexander and led him to safety into the nearby palace.